I didn't create it. It's not, but the creators and the executive producers are incredible. And, you'll see the tributes to Matthew, and I'm not sure what is in all the final episodes, but there was a couple special guests that, brought him up, and, it felt very present. It felt very, and watching clips back and stuff like that, there's sort of this, bittersweetness there. But such a poignant, deep respect, that threads throughout the show of, honoring, Chandler. Addiction has plagued, my family and my life, and I'm in comedy. So, there's a smattering of mental illness in my business, and to say the least. And so, I do think on that, a lot of times when there's a public, addiction issue, it's kind of like, oh yeah, that person was like a rock star and that's what they do. And like, oh yeah, that person was like, there's like a lack of empathy or something, that person's rich, whatever. They did too many, they couldn't control themselves. But, I will say that Matthew's passing, did feel like a reckoning. Like, I just hope that in, however this works, whatever you believe, heaven, the universe, whatever, like on some level, he knows that, I know a lot of people that went like, you know what? I think I'm going to take it easy. Like, that it happens to good people. It happens to, people with huge hearts that have everything, like he had money, he was on an amazing show, had incredible friends, literally and figuratively. They were all real friends in real life. And this thing, really is a disease. It's not a choice. I have just seen the conversation really change around addiction and around people I know who recreationally use substances probably more than they should, go like, okay, let me just like chill on this, But I hope on some level, he knows, or his family knows, that, people are, a lot of people I know are looking at addiction differently. It's interesting. Look, I thought I was like in the top 1%, but when you meet these contestants, you're like, this is wild. Like, you make good choices. While I was spending my time reading stupid news that I found out later wasn't even true, you were just watching Friends. Like, this was an option. Like, you are so much happier than me and have so many like less gray hairs. But there's things like the brilliance of the writing of Friends. And I know a lot of the writers now. I have the privilege of, after making sitcoms and getting to meet a lot of them, I have a whole new respect, for Friends. And that's actually when I started really getting to know it, is watching it back, because meeting with writers that I might put on Two Broke Girls or Roseanne or a sitcom, and things like, Phoebe's, I'm going to get it wrong now. Like, they don't know that we know that they know that we know, I thought I had that. I'm like, I'll say it in my head. And then the person says it, and I'm like, that's not right. And they play it. And it's like, they don't know that we know that they know that we're going to know. Like, there's one more off, but they got, so the level of competition is like pretty intense and really cool to watch. But as I was, watching some of the cuts of this, because I had to do voiceover or whatever, I had my boyfriend with me and a couple friends, I'm like, on tour, like openers and stuff. And as they were watching it, everyone was so excited. Like, no, like, like interactive television is something that, we're just starting to figure out in a way that actually kind of matters. And it was really cool to watch people's responses while they were watching it, being able to watch a show that they could be involved in, that they could like, and it was like, it's not about politics. There's no agenda. No one's trying to make you like feel guilty about global warming. Like, no one's like telling you how to vote. Like, it just is like pure joy. And it's like fun to be wrong at a time where no one will entertain the idea that they can be wrong about anything, it seems like. And even with new information, people just like won't change their minds. It's like, this is a show where even if you get it wrong, it's fun.